And all the king's men couldn't put Humpty back together again. So, what we got here?
It looks like a suicide.
And where's the body?
You mean what's left of it? It's being taken to the morgue. The coroner will be doing an autopsy later today.
Alright, and where's the chalk outline showing the placement of the body?
Here, 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 and here.
Wow, do we have a description of the victim?
We found a driver's license on the body. Here's his photo.
I've never seen anyone so bald and pale, and whoa, he's really out of shape. I think he's as round as he is tall. So his name is?
Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty?
Yeah.
So why are we treating this one as a suicide?
Witnesses say that Mr. Dumpty sat on a wall.
Why was he up here? Was he depressed, having a terrible winter?
Actually, friends who knew him said that Humpty had a great fall.
Who are the witnesses?
All the king's horses and all the king's men.
Horses? Huh. I don't think that their testimony is allowed in court.
True, but they are the main witnesses.
You know I hate it when you do that.
Yes.
And yet you continue to pun?
Well, I am the punished, sir.
So we got Humpty Dumpty falling off a wall to his death.
Yes.
But there's one problem.
What's that?
Look at his picture again. See these skinny arms and legs?
Yeah?
So how did Mr. Dumpty get all the way to the top of this wall?
So you're saying that this is not a suicide, but that it is?
That's right. I think that this is an egocide.
In the nursery rhyme justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the detectives who investigate the crimes, and the magistrates who prosecute the offenders. These are their rhymes.
Are any of the witnesses still here?
We have one of the horses.
Let's talk to her. She may be able to give us a lead.
True, or she might just stir up some trouble.
Excuse me, I understand you are the scene of the accident? About what time did it occur?
3:07, I see.
So did you see Humpty Dumpty sit on the wall? Nay. Did you see Humpty Dumpty fall? Nay. This is ridiculous. We won't get any information this way. She's not talking.
You have to give her a break, sir. She's having trouble talking.
And why is that?
She's a little hoarse. Let me try to question her. Can you tell us in your own words what exactly happened?
Oh my goodness, it was terrible, it was horrible, it was atrocious-able.
Take it easy there, let's rein it in.
We were in the stable, around the corner. The king's men were just trying on our feed bags when we heard our gargantuous splat. I ran out and looked over and it was awful.
And what did you do to help?
But naturally, all the king's men and all the king's horses tried to put us back together again.
And what stopped you from doing just that?
Well, for one, none of us made it through all 3 years of medical school, let alone the 5 years you needed residency for specializing in organ replacement surgery.
And what else prevented you from putting Humpty Dumpty back together again?
No hands.
There's that.
Did you know Mr. Dumpty?
Nobody really knew him. He didn't have many friends, and he was pretty obnoxious.
A bad egg, huh?
Is there anything else you can tell us that would help us in our investigation?
I know that he was renting from the old woman that lived in a shoe.
Do you know his apartment number?
No, but he was renting out the ground floor.
So he was the sole occupant?
Well, if that's all, I have to get back to work.
Thank you. We won't keep you. What do you do here in town in case we have to contact you again?
This horse holds a very important position. She's the town mayor.
You put up with this every day.
That's why they took away my gun. Are you the old woman?
My, aren't you the charmer?
Are you the old woman who lived in a shoe?
Who's asking?
I'm Detective Green, and are you?
No, I am not the old woman who lived in the shoe.
You know, that's interesting coming from someone living in a very shoe-like building.
You've got me confused with someone else. I'm the young woman who lives in the Birkenstock.
Birkenstock?
Yes!
Aren't Birkenstock sandals?
Well, I did some remodeling lately.
Young woman?
You've got a problem with that?
Look, ma'am, if you could just let us in to ask you a few questions.
You're not from Child Protective Services, are you?
No.
Or Housing Code Enforcement?
No.
Or the Department of Homeland Security?
No, ma'am, I'm from NRU, and I'm investigating a suspected murder.
Murder?
Yes.
Well, if it's just murder, come on in. Can I get you ladies anything? Coffee, tea, broth without any bread?
Broth sounds pretty good.
Thanks, ma'am, but we're on duty. Now if I could just ask you a few questions. Oh, are these your children?
Yes, that's Mary and Larry.
Mary and Larry. Well, they're very
Cute.
Yeah. Ain't they?
Did you have a renter here by the name of Humpty Dumpty?
What do you mean, did?
His body was found near the wall. It was a terrible scene. We're both pretty shell-shocked.
Did Mr. Dumpty rent from you?
You could say that. He was always behind on rent. He had trouble holding a job.
So you're saying he had to really scramble for work?
And you are?
This is my partner, the pun, sir.
I see.
What was Mr. Dumpty doing? Mary and Larry?
That's not Mary and Larry.
It's not?
No, that's Carrie and Barry.
Carrie and Barry. Well, they're also very cute.
Yeah. Ain't they? So,
Mr. Dumpty was a loner, no friends?
he had one person meet him regularly, about once a week.
What was this person's name?
I never caught her name.
Can you describe her, please?
She was gorgeous, stunning really. Arms like an angel, long, elegant neck. A little too much eyeshadow though.
That sounds like Swan to me, Detective.
Yes, it does. Does the name Beautiful Swan ring a bell?
No, that doesn't sound familiar.
Her name used to be Ugly Duckling before she legally changed it.
Ugly duckling? Well, of course. Humpty spoke to her all the time on the phone. I never connected the name Ugly Duckling to that vision of loveliness who came calling at the shoe.
Well, one would not think that someone so fair can be named so foul.
When Swan or Ugly Duckling came to the shoe, what? Carrie and Barry?
That's not Carrie and Barry.
Mary and Larry?
No, that's Sherry and Harry.
Sherry and Harry. Well, they're also very
Cute.
Yeah. Ain't they?
Anyways, when Miss Swan came to pick up Humpty Dumpty, where did they go?
Not this meeting that they went to regularly. Some sort of support group.
Humpty Dumpty belonged to a support group. Do you know the name of it?
Love, optimism, self-esteem, respect, support.
Losers?
It's a group for people with low self-esteem.
Humpty Dumpty? Him I can imagine belonging to such a group. I mean, a pasty-faced, bald, rotund guy isn't natural for a support group. But Beautiful Swan?
Well, I imagine as a swan, she was always feeling down.
So the support group, do you know? Sherry and Harry?
That's not Sherry and Harry.
Carrie and Barry?
Nope.
Mary and Larry?
No, that's Jerry and Harry.
Jerry and Harry. Well, they're also very
Cute.
Yeah. Ain't they?
So, do you know where this support group meets?
No, Humpty Dumpty never said, but he gave me the phone number in case I ever need to contact him. I'll get it for you.
Mr. Dumpty and Miss Swan, were they in a romantic relationship?
Yes, they were at one time. Just recently, Beautiful Swan broke up with Humpty. Said that she needed to find herself.
So you're saying Humpty got dumptied?
You deal with this every day?
That's why they took away my billy club. Thank you.
Sherry and Harry?
That's not Sherry and Harry.
Mary and Larry?
Nope.
Carrie and Barry?
That is Terry and Engelbert.
Terry and Engelbert. Wow, and you are an old woman.
And I live in a shoe.
You have so many children.
I don't know what to do.
Well, thank you for your help, ma'am. Call us if you think of anything else that might help us in our case.
What? No pie in your face? This is ridiculous. This is preposterous. This is really
Cute.
Yeah, ain't they?
All right, everyone, it's time to begin. Now, Georgie, we've talked about this. If you sit next to the girls and start kissing them, it'll make them cry.
that, and the fact that I drive a restraining order against you. Remember, you've got to keep 10 feet away from me, Mr. Georgie Porgy, put it in pie.
Pudding and pie. Really? That's your last name?
Yes!
Yes!
What kind of a last name is that? Pudding pie? Is that Danish?
No, it's Dutch. Dutch apple, specifically.
10 feet! 10 feet!
Who would like to begin this week? Jack B. Nimble, now this is progress. You're the first to volunteer. That shows you're gaining some confidence. Tell us about an exciting accomplishment of yours this week.
Okay, so I set out a candlestick in the middle of the floor. Then I did some stretching exercises and Pilates to warm up and loosen my muscles. Nothing worse than a pulled hamstring, if you know what I mean. Then I did a few approaches to the candlestick to get my footing down and chalked my first step on the floor. Then I ran in an easy arc to the candlestick, and then I was nimble and quick and jumped over the candlestick. And I might add, I did it without the benefit of performance-enhancing drugs.
That's it. A candle is what? Almost 4 or 5 inches tall? What's so great about that?
Georgie, positive, supportive comments only. What is the rule?
Don't be a party pooper. Tell everyone that they're super duper.
That's right.
Fine. I forgot. Gee, Jack, that's a towering achievement. I bet you make the Olympic handle jumping team.
Continue, Jack.
Not only did I clear the entire candlestick, but the candle was lit.
Wow, was it on fire? Those flames must have been shooting up. What, an entire inch? Did you have to be treated for 3rd-degree burn?
Georgie, I think that's very brave, Jack. That shows that Jack be nimble and Jack be quick.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. What are you, a rock star now?
Georgie.
What about me?
So there's a new person, right?
Oh, right. And you are?
Blue.
Welcome to the club. This is the losers after all.
Mary, you know I hate that acronym.
Hey, it beats the old name of our group. We really expect terrific, cheerful, happy endings daily. Come on, Blue Boy. You can figure it out. We really expect terrific, cheerful, happy endings daily.
Friendship?
You got it.
Okay, so I am awful at picking out group names. Let's get to know our new members, shall we? Now tell us, why are you Blue?
It was my father's name.
Excuse me?
I'm Little Boy Blue.
Blue? Ha! That's a weird last name.
Says Mr. Pudding Pie.
So, Mr. Blue, why have you chosen to join our little group today?
I'm Blue.
We've already established that. Your father's last name.
No, Blue, as in depressed.
Why are you depressed?
I've been fired from my job. Hey, don't go whining to us about being unemployed. Have you checked the want ads lately? Not too many people are looking for candlestick jumpers.
So, Mr. Blue, what was your job?
I work in stocks.
Oh, an investment broker?
Shepherd. A shepherd? Really?
We'll get to your particular problem in a minute, Bokeep. Now, Mr. Blue,
You can call me Boy.
At last, a man who knows his maturity level. Can I call you Little Boy?
No, Boy will do.
so, Boy, do you mind telling us why you were fired?
Negligence.
Negligence?
Well, you see, the sheep was in the meadow and the cow was in the corn. Why didn't you blow your horn?
Yeah, you are the boy who looks after the sheep.
Well, you see, I was under the haycock fast asleep.
Did you wake him?
No, not I.
Rickadoo, he'll be sure to cry.
Yep, that's basically it.
We sure have a lot of crybabies in this group.
No, I visit girls and make them cry.
Oh, and that is so much better.
Georgie, Swan, that is enough! Mary, how was your week?
10 feet! 10 feet!
I still feel like I'm being followed.
Hey, this sounds interesting.
It's not! It's creepy! There's this lamp. There's this lamb. It's fleeces by the snow, and everywhere that I went this week, the lamb was sure to go.
I'm sure you're just imagining things.
I'm not. It followed me to school one day.
Isn't that against the rules?
Yes, but it made the children laugh and play to see the lamb at school.
Did you try blowing a horn to scare it away? Do continue.
And so the teacher turned it out, but it still lingered near. It waited patiently until I did appear.
Why does the lamb love Mary so? I believe that Mary loves the lamb so. Mary, this should make you feel very good about yourself to have someone so attached to you. It's a reflection of your inner worth.
So what does that say about me, Doctor? I've lost my sheep and can't tell where to find them.
Little Bo Peep, leave them alone and they'll come home wagging their tails behind them.
You've been saying that for 3 years. Last night, I kept counting my sheep in my mind. But before I got to all of them, I kept falling asleep. Then, when I did fall asleep, I dreamt I heard them bleeding. But when I awoke, I found it a joke, for still they were all bleeding. If they loved me, they'd be following me to school like Mary over here. Maybe I didn't love them enough. Maybe they didn't know how much I loved them.
Maybe you don't really love them at all.
It's not true, Georgie. I'm taking up my little crook and I'm determined to find them. You, Blue Boy. It's Boy Blue.
Whatever.
Your shepherd is out of work, right?
Well, actually, I was hoping to collect some unemployment travel. Find myself.
While you're finding yourself, you can find my sheep too.
Okay.
And we are avoiding all haycocks, whatever those are. I can't have you sleeping on the job.
Excellent progress, Bo Peep. You are not just sitting around anymore. You're taking matters into your own hands. See you next week, Bo Peep. Good luck, boy. Swan, where's Humpty Dumpty this week?
I'm sorry, Doctor.
Dr. Foster from Gloucester.
Pleased to meet you, Doctor. I'm Detective Green. I'm sorry, though, but because we have some very bad news.
Oh?
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a little accident.
And I thought he was making such great progress in this group.
What do you say?
It wasn't a very pretty scene. We're very sorry.
This has been a very emotional evening. Given this bad news, I think we better adjourn to gather our thoughts. We'll continue next week.
Miss Swan, we understand that you're a friend of Humpty Dumpty.
We know you are probably shattered by the news, but we were wondering if we could ask you a few questions.
He was feeling very fragile this week.
But you wouldn't say he was close to cracking up, now would you?
Why not? He was just feeling a bit mixed up. But he was more positive than I've seen him in a long time.
Starting to look at the sunny side of things? This isn't going to go over easy, Miss Swan, but we suspect foul play.
You mean his fall was no accident?
We don't believe so. Miss Swan, can you think of anybody who might have wanted to hurt Humpty Dumpty?
Besides the bullies who rolled him for his lunch money, it's hard being the fat kid, you know. Or the ugly kid. I know firsthand I was made fun of as a child, too.
And I thought he was making such great progress in this group.
Miss Swan, can you think of anybody more recently who might have had it out for Humpty Dumpty?
I can't think of anyone.
We're looking for a hard-boiled kind of character.
You have to deal with this every day.
That's why they took away my taser.
I'm sorry I couldn't help you more, Detective.
That's all right. If you think of anything else, just give me a call.
Thank you, Detective.
We'll let you know if we found out any more information you'd like to give. Let me drive you home, Swan.
Did you notice anything unusual, Detective?
What do you mean?
Miss Swan didn't seem too upset for being his only close friend.
Sometimes the shock just has to set in.
I don't know.
You suspect Swan? There's no way.
Why not?
Deductive reasoning, she's not a nursery rhyme character?
The ugly duckling, beautiful swan? Of course she is.
No, she isn't.
Yes, she is.
No, she isn't.
Yes, she is.
Fine. If she's a nursery rhyme character, what's the rhyme?
Well, Mr. Smarty, it's Hickory Dickory Duck.
That's Hickory Dickory Dock, the mouse ran up the clock.
Diddle Diddle Duckling.
That's Diddle Diddle Dumpling.
Little Miss Duckette sat on her bucket.
That's Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet.
Now I know you're lying. There's no such thing as a tuffet.
Nope, it's a tuffet. Don't even get me started on Hertz and Way.
Tuffet? No kidding, really?
Swan is by a story from Hans Christian Andersen. I don't even think Hans is related to Mother Goose.
so far. We're going to have to work extra hard to solve this case.
Look, Punish, I think you'd better ease up the puns while we're in the corner. She has lots of sharp objects. I hope she's found something helpful.
Detective, glad you and your partner can make it so soon. I've got something to show you.
Oh, I was hoping you'd be done. I do not have much of a stomach for this.
Come on, be a man.
You'll need to put these on.
Why do we need these?
Hello, giant egg. Do you want to get salmonella?
Oh.
And put these on too.
What are these for?
Regulations, health inspectors, you know.
Oh.
Well, if you hand me that list, we can get started.
So, what have you found so far?
Well, I've examined the outer body. I have to be very careful.
So, you feel like you're walking on eggshells?
You know, I've heard about you. You're the new guy, right? The Punish, sir?
That's me. I see my reputation precedes me.
It does indeed. The word at the department is that you are to have 15 Eighth Amendment violations filed against you.
Eighth Amendment?
Cruel and unusual punishment.
Oh.
Anyway, the victim died of severe trauma to the head, chest, and pelvis.
All three?
Well, with this victim, his head, chest, and pelvis are all one and the same. But here's what's really interesting. If you look in here, you'll notice that it's all white.
All white? That's funny. Where's the yolk?
Funny? How is this funny? I don't get the yolk.
Make that 16 violations of the Eighth Amendment.
So, there was no yolk. Do you think that the killer had something against cholesterol?
That, or possibly that the killer is making meringue for a massive lemon pie.
Why do you say that?
Not only was the yolk removed, but the white was fluffy.
So, you're saying Humpty was beaten and then whipped?
Make that 16 violations of the Eighth Amendment.
So the killer is either a health nut or someone who really likes pie.
Or both.
Sal, can you tell us anything else?
Humpty Dumpty had a tattoo.
A tattoo? What was it?
It was just the words, grade A large.
Wow, for someone with low self-esteem, that's pretty conceited.
I suspected all along he was an egomaniac.
18.
Well, but here's the weirdest part. He had traces of food coloring on his body, and the carton that he came in on had an expiration date on it.
So, Humpty was died when he died?
You deal with this every day?
That's why they took away my chainsaw.
Well, that's about all I've got for you. Care for an omelet?
Hey, that's not...
Oh no, this isn't Humpty. I just haven't had breakfast yet. Just some forensic humor here for you.
Don't mind if I do. Wow, this is incredible.
And good for you. High in protein and no cholesterol.
So, what are we doing here, Detective?
I'm just following an instinct. Sal said that the murder is either a health nut or someone who really likes pie. If I can remember correctly, Jack Sprat could eat a fat,
And his wife would eat a lean.
so Sprat would be the health nut who worries about his cholesterol.
And his wife would be the one who would eat a giant lemon meringue pie.
I think this is the place.
Yeah? What do you want?
Detective Green, does Jack Sprat live here?
Jack? What do you want with Jack?
We just have a few questions for him. May he come in?
Come on in. We've got nothing to hide.
Wow, you must be Miss Sprat.
What makes you say that?
Well, Jack Sprat's pie would eat no lean, and I'm thinking lean cuisine is not on your menu.
Nah, I never eat frozen dinners.
Yeah.
Are you gonna come in and just stand there with dumb looks on your faces?
Right, if you could lead the way.
Can I get you ladies anything to eat? Donuts, pork rinds, lard?
Lard?
I just spread it over a couple slices of Wonder Bread. Or I eat it straight out of the can. That'll stick to your ribs.
And fills your arteries.
That explains why Miss Sprat's not very tall. Crisco is shortening.
Sure you don't want any donuts, pork rinds, anything to keep your mouth full?
Miss Sprat, would you like to ask your husband some questions?
Jack is indisposed.
Indisposed?
Yes, he's running.
Running where?
In the shower. He's so skinny, he has to run in the shower to get wet.
When he uses a treadmill, it reads return to slender.
When he stands sideways and sticks out his tongue, he looks like a zipper.
His favorite song is Lean on Me.
In a thunderstorm, he can stay dry standing under a clothesline.
He'd make a great magician because he's so slight of
Miss Spratt, if you could just get your husband, please.
Jack, get in here! Yes, dear? These two flatfoots want to ask you some questions. Is there a problem, ladies?
Mr. Spratt, where were you on the night of October 13th?
I was doing some baking.
Would that baking involve pies, perhaps?
Yes, but because of Mr. Humpty Dumpty was found whipped and beaten on October 13th, and you need to break a few eggs to whip up a pie. Isn't that true, Mr. Jack Spratt? If that is your real name? But see, don't give me no buts, Mr. Egg Cracker. Murder in this case was a half-baked idea. But are you going to talk, Mr. Pantry Chef, or will I have to pun again?
Wait, what's the big idea?
I was just on the verge of getting him to.
But it's my turn to be bad cop. You were bad cop last time.
No, it's my turn to be bad cop. And besides, I'm the punished, sir. I'm a natural as a bad cop.
But I don't want to be the good cop again. I'm tired of saying there and being upsetting and offering coffee and taking off the dumpsters.
Well, it's my turn to be bad cop.
My turn.
My turn. Well, Jack, are you ready to talk, or shall I come in?
Hey, I know my rights.
Shut your pie hole, tiny man. Now talk. But you heard me. Shut up and talk.
Come on, Punish. Go over there and cool down. There, Jack. I know just how you feel. Would you like some coffee? Let me get those thumbscrews off you.
Thumb screws?
Oops, gotta hit myself.
Look, I know what you two ladies are up to. So if you don't have any evidence to arrest me, you can just leave.
Oh, come on, Jack. Let's think extra hard for a second. Are you sure that there is nothing else you want to tell us?
Hey, I noticed your wife has some egg white on her apron.
So, what if I eat a lot of omelets to keep up my strength?
I'm willing to bet that the egg white we found on you matches that of Humpty Dumpty. We have a witness who has pictures of Mr. Jack Spratt here beating egg whites. It'll be known as Exhibit A.
Stop the punning. I'll tell you, I'll talk. Don't say another word. We know our rights. We want a lawyer, and we're not talking until we get counsel.
What were you two thinking? You two are nursery rhyme characters. You should set a better example. We expected better of you. Now you two will get exactly what is coming to you.
You put up with this every day?
That's why they took away my pit bull. You two are under arrest. Jack and Miss Spratt were placing you under arrest for the murder of Humpty Dumpty. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law.
Sure, I don't eat no fat, but I find other uses for it.
Thanks, pal. And as I was saying, if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you.
All rise. The People versus Jack Spratt and his wife, Part 32. The Honorable Judge Mental is presiding. Court is now in session.
Prosecution, you may call your first witness.
The people call Mr. Simple Simon.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I didn't dig a hole in that garden. What? That's the whole truth. No, I meant the whole truth, not leaving anything out. Oh, yes. And I did dig that hole. But it's a good hole. You may be seated.
Now, Simple Simon, you met a pieman?
Well, I was going to the fair.
What did you say to the pieman?
Let me taste your ware.
What did the pieman say to you?
He said, let me see your penny. But I hadn't any.
You hadn't any pennies?
I've never had any since.
Objection.
Yeah.
1. This testimony is going nowhere. 2. Penny and cents is an obvious pun, and those lines belong solely to punish, sir. And finally, this witness is obviously mental.
Mental? As in someone not conforming to the thought processes of the dominant culture?
No, I meant...
Or, by mental, did you mean someone who's such a deep thinker that he is not appreciated by the materialist pragmatic bourgeois?
No, I meant...
Or, by mental, did you mean someone who is stupid?
What I meant, Judge...
That's judgmental! Do you?
Oh, yeah,
Where was I?
No sense.
Mr. Simon, is the pieman in this room?
Yes, he's right there.
Let it be noted that Mr. Simon has pointed to the defendant, Mr. Jack Sprat. Now, Simple Simon, what did you do when the pieman would not let you taste his wares?
Well, I followed him back to his house.
What did you see there?
I watched him making his pies. He used fresh lard in his crusts.
Lard or fat?
Yes, fat. And he used fresh egg white in his the fluffy white stuff on the top of the pies.
The word is meringue. And, secondly, did you say fresh egg white?
Yes.
How did you know it was fresh egg white?
Well, I saw him beating the egg white right out of a piece of a giant shell, and I took a picture of it.
Enough with the gasping! It's getting annoying!
Is this the picture?
Yes.
Let it be noted that this picture shall be filed as Exhibit A. I have no further questions for this witness.
Defense, your witness. Watch yourself. Mr. Simon, is it?
Yes.
And do you go by Simple?
Yes.
You also go by other names. Isn't this true?
Well, in the schoolyard, people always call me Simple Pimple. But my therapist tells me
Isn't it true that you go by Peter? Peter Pumpkin Eater? Arrested for keeping your wife in a pumpkin shell?
Well,
Also known as Wee Willie Winky. Arrested for being a peeping Tom and running around in your nightgown?
it's been a while since...
Also known as Tom, Tongue of Piper's son. Arrested for pignapping?
There's a logical explanation.
Isn't your real name Crooked Man?
Yes.
And you have a crooked cat who caught a crooked mouse, and you live all together in a crooked little house.
Yes.
You've got quite a rap sheet, Simple Simon. Why are you testifying against Jack Sprat today?
I feel it's my duty as a citizen.
Did the prosecution offer you immunity in exchange for your testimony today?
Well, it's only fair.
So your testimony was bought. How did you just happen to have a camera when you went to the Sprat's household?
I'm an amateur photographer.
Amateur? Isn't it true that you've been paid a great deal for your photographs? Isn't it true that, as Wee Willie Winky, you were arrested for not only being a peeping Tom, but also for extortion?
I was only arrested. I was never convicted.
Yes, of course. Maybe you were never convicted because you had incriminating pictures of the judge presiding in this case. Objection! Sustained. Jury, ignore that last statement. So, Mr. Simon, or shall I say Crooked Man, you have a criminal record, your testimony was bought, and you were outside of Jack Sprat's home in order to commit a felony. Am I missing anything?
I do dig a good hole.
Just as you dug a hole for yourself now. I guess the truth is not so simple. I am done with this witness. You may step down. Defense, you may call your first witness. The defense calls Mr. Jack Sprat.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Mr. Sprat, you heard the witness before you claim that he saw you eating egg whites. Is this true?
Yeah, it's true. Hey, there ain't no law against beating egg whites.
True. But the witness also claims that he saw you beating them in a piece of giant egg. Is this true?
Yeah, it's true. Grade A large egg.
I'm warning you! One more gasp and to go to the noggin! Where did you get this piece of giant egg?
From Mother Goose.
Mother Goose. The Mother Goose?
Yes.
Your Honor, Mother Goose is right outside this courtroom. I suggest that bailiff go grab her and bring her to the witness stand for questioning.
Your Honor, this is most irregular.
Indeed, this is most irregular. That is true. If you prefer, I could recall Simple Simon for more questions about the pictures he has that might be incriminating. Bailiff, go grab Mother Goose and bring her to the witness stand. Be careful, she has quite the temper.
This is police brutality, you little honk!
Swear her in, bailiff.
I think she's already swearing, Your Honor.
What the honk is going on here?
Mr. Jack Sprat is on trial for the murder of Humpty Dumpty.
Murder? Honk! Of my son? And what the honk do you think you're doing, you honking judge?
It's just that I said that whoever.
Yes.
I said that whoever gasped next would get a gavel to the noggin.
Ahem!
Perhaps I was too hasty.
Darn tootin'.
Is this the first that you've heard of the murder of Humpty Dumpty?
Oh, yes! Who did it? Was it that nasty Miss Sprat? I never!
Why do you think the perpetrator was Miss Sprat?
Oh, she was always jealous of my son's figure.
But Miss Sprat has an alibi for the night of the 13th.
The 13th? Are you saying my son was murdered on the 13th?
Yes.
But that's impossible. He was fit as a fiddle at breakfast this morning.
What do you mean? His body was found at the bottom of the wall.
Oh, that wasn't his body. That was his shell.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to clarify. What exactly do you mean?
Humpty is my son and has been living with me for the past 5 years after graduating from college. He is quite smart, you know.
I always knew he was an egghead.
One more outburst like that, and I'll hold you in contempt. In fact, with puns like that, I already hold you in contempt.
Ahem! As I was saying, Humpty is quite smart, but he never would leave the nest and gain his independence. Sure, he moved out for a while, but he was living in a shoe, for goodness sakes. And I was still doing his laundry and packing his lunch. That is why beautiful Swan broke up with him. Well, when she left him, that was the last straw. Now usually, I'm not one for mixed marriages, but I thought that Miss Swan was the right bird for him, and I wanted grandchildren. So I pushed Humpty out of the nest.
Wait, you pushed Humpty out of the nest? You murdered your own son?
Murder? You think I've committed murder? You dare accuse me, of murder? Calm down. I will not calm down.
Now, Miss Goose, no one here is accusing you of murder.
That's right. We think we have the murderer. Oh, nonsense. I pushed Humpty out of his comfortable shell, but I haven't murdered him. In fact, here he comes now.
Here you are, Mom. What's up? I thought we were doing lunch.
You all know my son Humpty Goosey.
Humpty, you're still alive?
Yes, and now I'm independent. I have my own condo and I made my first down payment.
Hey, that was supposed to be my pun.
That's right. All puns belong to the... Overruled.
Your Honor, seeing that the victim is alive and well, I suggest...
I agree. Case dismissed. The defendant is free to go.
Well, it just goes to show, Detective. What's that? Don't count your victims before they've hatched.
You want to know something else, Punisher?
Sure.
They may have taken away my gun, my billy club, my taser, my chainsaw, and my pit bull, but they did not take away my cattle prod. Let's see it jump over the moon. Hey, diddle diddle.
Okay, Paris, it's time to get your cameras out, and you can have flash if you want to. It's for the curtain call, and cast and crew can you... Oh, first lights, of course, yes, we need lights. And also, please, cast and crew, smile!
so much for coming tonight. We know that this wasn't particularly easy with 17 days and no rehearsal. So parents, thank you so much for being so tolerant of the crazy rehearsal schedule, and thank you. They were absolutely fabulous. So another round of applause.